Hello again. This is Aranya, and Team 2 will be presenting the next section of the case analysis, which deals with strategic concerns and the recommendations and implementations. We have a list of 5 strategic concerns as part of this Waffle House case analysis. The first one is high employee turnover rate. It has been reported that Waffle House has an approximate 30% turnover rate for managers in their first year and a 140% turnover rate for associates. The second is the second rate restaurant brand perception, which negatively impacts the brand loyalty. The third concern is the lack of perceived prestige associated with management careers. The fourth is inferior to-go options in comparison to various competitors in the fast casual restaurant industry. And fifth is that Waffle House has been a slow adopter of information technology, especially in an era when IT has been omnipresent and has transformed various businesses. In order to deal with the strategic concerns, we have a list of 3 recommendations. The first recommendation deals with development of a revamped retention plan, which will address the high turnover rate of managers and associates. This recommendation would be addressed in 2 parts. The first one deals with redesigning the total compensation package for unit managers. Waffle House reports that it loses close to a third of its managers in the first year. These are basically the unit managers who receive performance based compensation, because of which it leads to a highly stressful condition for these managers and thus leads to employee burnout. The research suggests that workplace stress does affect productivity. In fact, 60% of the users that were surveyed suggested that a little bit of stress motivated them, but too much of it impeded their productivity. With Waffle House, a one unit manager is responsible for each Waffle House restaurant, and their salary is dependent on the sales that the restaurant makes. In order to address the stress issue, we suggest that the incentive based compensation be made 75% of the total compensation package. There should be a base pay for the unit managers. A 15% base pay is recommended for this in this case. There should be a quarterly bonus, which would be dependent on peer reviews and reviews from bosses, benefits of 4%, and some perks of 1% of their total compensation package, which includes memberships to gyms and spas that could help reduce their stress levels. So, this would create employees who are more engaged and enthusiastic about their work, and they would provide better customer experiences, and in fact create a positive working environment not only for themselves but also for the entire organization. The second part of this recommendation deals with increasing the number of unit managers from 1 to 2 in each Waffle House restaurant. Since these Waffle House restaurants operate 24/7, 365, and there is only one unit manager who is responsible for the operation of the restaurant, it creates very stressful and demanding working conditions. Because these unit managers who have only 3 months of previous experience as manager trainees are put under such a tremendous amount of stress, they are more than likely to quit in the first year of their unit manager position. It is critical for Waffle House to increase the retention rate of managers because there are high turnover costs involved. These turnover costs could be direct costs and indirect costs. Direct costs include recruitment, selection of new hires, and their training. Indirect costs come in the form of increased workloads, downtime, overtime expenses for coworkers, and reduced employee productivity. It has been suggested in research that the cost to replace an employee is equal to a third of a new hire's annual salary. So, if we consider the annual salary of a unit manager to be $45,000 per year, the cost to replace a unit manager would be $15,000. Considering the total number of unit managers nationwide, we have 1,800 of them, one per Waffle House restaurant. Uh, by the current unit manager attrition rate, we have 600 managers who quit from their jobs in the first year of their operation. The turnover cost of 600 managers would then account to $9 million. Now, if the attrition rate is reduced to 10%, turnover cost reduced to 2.7 million, and there are a cost savings of $6.3 million that would be generated, and these could be diverted to paying the district managers who are now responsible for more number of unit managers, since the number of unit managers as is recommended is increased from 1 to 2 per Waffle House restaurant. This addresses the first strategic concern of the high employee turnover rate. I now hand it over to Laura, who's going to discuss the second two recommendations and also address the rest of the strategic concerns.
All right, and now we'll move on to recommendation number 2, which is to implement strategic marketing campaigns. We realize that Waffle House has a history of not spending any money on advertising and really relies on social media, earned media, restaurant placement, etc. And while these tactics have proven to be successful, we feel like there's going to be much more success by implementing strategic campaigns to attract more customers and enhance earnings and even attract more and better employees. Our recommendations for that are as follows. We have first decided to implement a enhanced brand perception campaign. Currently, a lot of people view Waffle House as more of a second-tier restaurant. And through our firsthand research of this, we found out that those people who don't think Waffle House is a great restaurant have actually never stepped inside a Waffle House. So that led us to believe that a lot of this has to do with brand perception. They just don't know about Waffle House. They don't think it looks nice, I guess, on the outside. And so therefore they have chosen not to go there. So in order to combat this, we recommend that Waffle House enhance their brand perception with a family-focused campaign and with a high focus on quality and good customer service. With this campaign, we want to target families of moderate income levels who are looking for a safe and clean restaurant to go to with their family that can really be their kitchen away from home. I know that this was mentioned earlier in our Waffle House orientation that it was intentional to have the kitchen open, to have people experience that. And that is something that's truly unique to this restaurant. And by advertising that to the public that, hey, this is your kitchen away from home. We welcome you. We want you to come here, enjoy your food, and have a good time. That really says a lot about the restaurant. And I believe that that advertising can really take this restaurant to the next level. Next, I want to highlight the Special Features campaign. This is a campaign in which Waffle House actually gets the opportunity to promote their specials. Earlier, we had recommended a waffle hour, which was typically going to be like a happy hour. And this is a way that Waffle House can get the word out there that, hey, they're going to have a happy hour every day between, 2 p.m. and 5 p.m., which provides a discount on their waffles. It's also an option for them to advertise any holiday specials that they may have. Say they do eggnog at Christmas time or holiday-shaped waffles. Kids would go crazy for this kind of stuff. So it's definitely something that you want to promote and you want the public to know about. And not only that, it makes Waffle House seem different and unique, and that they've put a lot of thought behind their food. So therefore, this seems like a better and more desirable experience for consumers. Now, thirdly, I want to touch on recruitment. It was mentioned before that Waffle House wanted a recruitment campaign specifically for universities. Well, I do, of course, we see benefit in that. We think that the benefits of Waffle House and being a manager are highly underpromoted. Not a lot of people know about it. And by promoting it only at a university fair, where there's other competitors there who are promoting essentially the same kind of management training path, is really doing Waffle House an injustice with this program. We believe that the recruitment should start much earlier than the senior attended recruitment fair, but instead there should be campaigns that promote the benefits of management. They should promote the obviously the generous salary and the path for succession, and really highlight this as a profession to be desired. And our strongest recommendation for this is to start young. So start advertising this to students in the freshman level and go all the way up to senior. Because when you get people young, they're going to learn about it, look into it, constantly hear about it, and they're going to be more inclined to go towards Waffle House and think more highly of them in terms of career in the future. Now, to implement this, we really recommend hiring a strategic marketing agency that's skilled in the area of brand development and enhancement. We really don't recommend trying to do this in-house just because this is outside of Waffle House's forte, and it would take a lot of time to build this up. A marketing agency is already skilled in this, they know what resources to use, and they could really help lead the charge for Waffle House. A couple marketing agencies that we know of that do a really great job are Red Pepper and Catapult Marketing. Now, of course, we do want to have a Waffle House employee be a project management owner over this initiative, just to make sure that the goals align with Waffle House and the results of the marketing campaign. And as you'll see, this strategic recommendation actually knocks off strategic concerns number 2 and number 3 from our list of strategic concerns. And moving on to recommendation number 3, we would like to see Waffle House enhance IT utilization with a phone app and kiosk order stations. Since this is essentially 2 recommendations in one, we are proposing a phased approach, starting with the phone app. Now, the phone apps have really gone viral in a sense. A lot of restaurants are doing this, and we really don't want Waffle House to get left behind. Not to mention, this has proven to be wildly successful with building brand loyalty and also getting people to, want to attend your restaurant, want to get those points. It's almost like a game for them. So our recommendation with the phone app is that the customer is going to have their phone app tied to a credit or debit card. Think of it similar to what Uber does. And then when they go to pay for their meal, they have the waitress scan the QR code, and that has a built-in tip functionality. So that way, obviously the waitress still gets tipped, the customer gets their points. And the goal for the customer is to reach 50 points, which is equivalent to about $50. And this will get them a $10, up to $10 free meal on their next purchase once they reach the 50-point maximum. Something unique and different that we decided to add to this phone app is a road trip game. Since there's so many Waffle House locations that are located on the interstate, we thought it would be a great idea to promote a road trip game within Waffle House in which customers actually got bonus points for attending multiple Waffle Houses within a 5-day period that are at least 25 miles apart, starting from the first one to the next one. And at the end of the road trip game, depending on how much they spent and how many Waffle House they went to, they can gain points much faster. And in addition, of course, we want to add a easy to-go ordering option with this phone app. Now, by doing this, the customer is actually able to, before they even get to the store, order the food that they want and request that to go. So all they have to do when they arrive is pick up their order. It's already paid for. So this prevents Waffle House from having to create a drive-through. They can compete with other drive-throughs like McDonald's. And this way, too, the customer is actually choosing, hey, I don't want some food that's been sitting out for a while. I want food that was made to order. It was made for me. And I'm going to go ahead and pick it up at my local Waffle House. Now, next we have the kiosk order stations, and our main concern in actually creating this as a solution for Waffle House is really to aid in staffing issues. These kiosk order stations are going to serve as a critical role whenever there is a decline in staffing. Say maybe there was turnover or emergency sickness. Customers would be welcomed into the store and pointed to go ahead and order their meal at the kiosk. Now, of course, after they order their food at the kiosk, they can have a seat. In the event that maybe their food is ready before there are seats available, we recommend that these iPad kiosks actually be programmed with an algorithm to determine the time to cook food versus the average seating availability within the restaurant. And if the algorithm triggers that, hey, your food might be ready before we actually go ahead and have seating for you, we want to go ahead and let you know that this is a possibility and give you the option to take it to go. Not to mention, too, just doing this kiosk order station just helps overall with quicker ordering. So to address this in terms of implementation, as I mentioned earlier, we do want to do this in a phased approach. So one, we want to select an app vendor and assign a Waffle House project manager to this task. Together, they will develop goals, do testing, promotion, and launch of the app. In phase two, when we focus on the kiosk order station, it may be wise to still use that same vendor that you used for phase one if that was a good working relationship. Also have a project manager over this project, which could possibly even be the same one. And again, the two are going to work together. They're going to develop some protocols and do some testing and roll out these kiosks to a few key stores, see if it's successful, and then end with a full rollout to all locations. And as you can see, this actually knocks off concern number 4 and 5 from our list of strategic concerns, which thereby covers all of our concerns that we have addressed for Waffle House. And thank you for listening to our presentation, and now we are open to taking your questions.